Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Bosworth, an Anglican priest in the Diocese of Fort Worth, Texas, and a licensed clinical pastoral counselor with a doctorate in counseling psychology. Many in my counseling practice, now that we're all practicing isolation, have asked, Father Bob, how can my family and I maintain some sanity in this intense family locked up in the house together? Well, I'd like to address that with you today as well as with my clients. I think it's important to remember Jesus' words when he said, "Whatever you do to the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you do to me." Isolation and social separation isn't just about keeping yourself safe. It's about keeping God's people safe beyond you and beyond your family. When we practice this isolation and segregation, we're actually making a sacrifice, knowing that Jesus' people will be served. The key to being able to make a sacrifice is to offer it to God. So even the most difficult parts of isolation and separation, lay them at the foot of the cross and offer them to Christ. Now here's some practical suggestions on how you might be able to do that. I like to have clients wave my three-pronged magic wand. One prong is a change of venue, another is a change of temperature, and the third is a change of activity level. Anything that you can do that will change your scenery, put you in a different temperature, and accelerate your heart and your lungs is going to be a great thing to help manage anxiety and depression in stressful situations, quarantines included. Raising your activity level in a different place that has a different temperature can go a long way in stress reduction. Another great thing you can do is to establish and maintain a routine. Keep regular bedtime and wake-up hours. And when you get up, make sure to make your bed and put all the lights on in the house and open the windows. That seals in a good night's sleep. When you get up, get dressed. And not just in sloppy warm-ups that you might wear if you weren't doing anything, but put on real clothes like you were going out. And the more color you can add to that, the better. It's not a bad idea to have a morning meeting, maybe at breakfast with the rest of your household, to set a day's agenda and to let the routine not get turned into a rut. And then when you establish that routine, help yourself and help the others in your household stick to it. And this is especially important for those who are now working at home. People who are working at home have to be respected and given the time to do their jobs in order that the family can continue to function well. Exercise is also very important for reasons that I've just stated. And going out of your way to be courteous to the people that you live with is especially important. Sometimes we treat them with less respect than we do strangers. That can't be the case if we're living in close proximity, isolated in our homes. Now go around your house and do some things differently than you normally do. Switch chores with a family member for a little variety. Cook and clean together, maybe even doing the dishes by hand instead of using the dishwasher. Accomplishing a long-delayed task like cleaning out the garage or straightening a closet would be a great thing to do as a team. Get out the good dishes, light a few candles, and have a formal dinner once a week in your home while you're with each other. And there's lots to do outside. It's planting season. Flowers can be planted. Lawns can be manicured. All sorts of things you can do as a family. So those are things you can do together. But it's also very important to get some separate time. A great way to get some separate time is by reading something. The Bible is particularly good. You might expect that coming from a priest. Individual hobbies like needlepoint or crossword puzzles or practicing a musical instrument can also be great. Sure, we need to do things together, but we also need times to ourselves. So practice the piano. Practice the guitar. Myself, I've had a harp that I've been promising to teach myself how to play for years. I've started that process, and I ask for your prayers and wishes for luck for me to do that. Now, as well as you work as a family, relax together as a family. Why not do some card games or some board games instead of just sitting in front of the television or doing video games? Make speakerphone calls to loved ones, especially relatives who might be isolated. And again, get your hands dirty. Do something outside, plant some flowers, or manicure your lawn. And finally, watch television news in moderation. It's very easy to have our anxiety levels whooped up by the media. Information overload, especially now, can come at a great cost. I'm not suggesting that ignorance is bliss, but being constantly barraged by the latest news about the virus can overwhelm the mind. Gubernatorial or presidential news conferences are fine as long as they don't go on all afternoon. But other than that, an hour of news is probably more than any of us need or can stand if it's all being devoted to the current crisis. And do your best not to eat and watch television at the same time, especially don't eat with the news. And remember, no cell phones at the table. Now here's something for blended families. If you share the custody of a child, and if anybody in the home of where the child normally lives has been exposed to the virus, consider allowing the child to stay there in that household instead of changing venues and spending 3 or 4 days here or 3 or 4 days there. This can really make a difference in the further spread of the virus. Naturally, those with custody arrangements and difficult situations might want to contact their attorneys, but shifting children from one environment to another where infections may or may not be controlled is not a good idea. Let me leave you with this. The key to making any sacrifice is to offer it to Christ. Offer your isolation to Jesus, and he will make it holy. These are just a few ideas. Be creative and come up with your own. And remember, we're all in this together. And may God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit bless, protect, and keep you now and forever.